Hi, I'm Shannon Gavin Johnson, the director of Legacy Museum on Main, and this is a brief moment in LaGrange's history. When I see a child's eyes light up as they look through Legacy Museum on Main, it makes me wonder what children of bygone ages enjoyed playing with. Children prior to industrialization lived a much different life than today's youngsters. Children of a wealthier family that had servants or enslaved people to perform work had more leisure time than that of a family without such help. For many children, there was little spare time, but long winter evenings and family and social gatherings provided time for play. Long before settlers appeared in West Georgia, the local American Indians enjoyed such games as handball in a fashion akin to modern volleyball and stickball, which was similar to modern lacrosse. A game of darts might have been regularly played with darts carved from a corncob. Toys were common as well. An Indian child might have been introduced to toys while he or she was still a baby. Mothers hung strings adorned with beads, teeth from an animal, and even rabbit's feet above their babies' cradles. Native American women also made dolls out of corn husks and stalks. The girls would then fashion clothing for their dolls while at the same time learning skills like beadworking and weaving. The toys of young boys were often similarly both fun and educational. Miniature bow and arrow sets, slingshots, and fishing spears would be made for a young boy by his father until he was of the age to learn the craft himself. As immigrants from Europe came to colonial America, so did their games and toys. For example, the Dutch that came in the 17th century brought with them a game they called ninepins. It was one of many lawn bowling games that remained popular until the late 19th century. By the time the territory in West Georgia was open to development, little had changed. One's time playing was dictated by his or her family's wealth. Toys would have been handmade or passed down from older siblings and parents and were rare among the earliest settlers of this area. Again, mothers might have made dolls for their daughters, and toys were whittled out of wood for young boys. Many toys were improvised from utilitarian items. A tightly wadded piece of cloth served as a ball to kick around, and a length of unused rope would be skipped by girls. Improvised toys, such as wooden horses out of sticks and perhaps a scrap for a tail or mane, could be found among young enslaved children. Black children enjoyed marbles too. In an interview conducted in 1937 by Martin Richardson of the Federal Writers Project, Lindsay Moore, a former slave, recalled a marbles tournament which his master took him to compete with other slave children from nearby plantations. He was proud of having been a marbles champion. Benny Dillard, another former Georgia slave, remembered the best game of all was to play like it was a big meeting time. We would have make-believe preaching and baptizing. When we started playing like we were baptizing them, we all went right in the creek, clothes and all, and dunked them. As time passed and wealth grew, some children may have been given more expensive toys. Manufactured dolls with porcelain heads and dresses featuring frilly lace would have been the pride of a wealthy landowner's daughter. She might have also had a set of hoops with which to play graces. The hoops would be tossed from one child to another using sticks to toss and catch. A young boy of affluence in the early 1800s might have owned a hoop and stick, and toy soldiers would have been the delight of his imagination, allowing him to carry out any given battle. Children today, of course, have a myriad of toys and games from which to choose. Some have evolved from those primitive pastimes of yesterday. For example, modern video games of warfare are nothing more than today's variation of toy soldiers. To learn more about children's pastimes, visit Legacy Museum on Main, specifically on one of the first Saturdays of the month when we hold Hands on History, History for Young Children. This has been a brief moment in LaGrange's history.